The legend looming over Danny White's shoulder materialized in St. Louis last Sunday, while Roger Staubach embodied a glorious past that White hopes to eventually duplicate. The Cardinals' Jim Hart and Pat Tilley, number 83, provided a heroic present that White had to equal in just 60 minutes. But throughout the game, White found aerial routes to the end zone closed off. Running lanes were clogged too, but that didn't faze Tony Dorsett, number 33. The Cardinals were seeking to snap a 4-game losing streak against Dallas, and to do so, Hart challenged a Cowboys secondary supposedly still in its infant stage. But he and his receivers discovered that this unit is no longer teething. Indeed, they've developed real bite. In the fourth quarter, however, Hart connected with Mel Gray, number 85, for a 34-yard score that gave St. Louis a 24-20 lead. And with less than a minute left in the game, White found himself with a fourth down situation that required Staubach-style heroics. With the aid of Tony Hill, number 80, he responded in Staubach style. The Cowboys' 27-24 victory proved once again that Danny White is a worthy heir to that legend looming over his shoulder. Vince Ferragamo is one California Golden Boy with a Midas touch that increases in luster each week. Against the Saints in Anaheim, practically everything that he and the Rams touched turned to gold. After Elvis Peacock, number 34, transformed a dump pass into a 59-yard touchdown, Ferragamo turned a potentially unpleasant situation into another score. Ferragamo's 4 first-half touchdown passes gave the Rams a 31-7 halftime lead. Then another California Golden Boy, former starter Pat Hayden, returned from the injured list. It was a return that quickly tarnished. The touchdown by Don Reese, number 60, disrupted the Rams' momentum as New Orleans put 21 points on the board during the third quarter. But the Rams' defense had disruptive tactics of its own. And Ferragamo's aura was simply too intense for the hapless Saints. He and Billy Waddy, number 80, further suggested that there was magic, as well as Midas, in the Rams' winning touch. Waddy grabbed 2 of Ferragamo's club record equaling 5 scoring passes in the 45-31 Rams victory. While the Rams continue to insist that both of their Golden Boys are vying for the starting quarterback role, it is Vince Ferragamo who provides Los Angeles with a golden opportunity for another Super Bowl appearance. In Cincinnati, Dan Fouts regained his Midas touch, one that had seemingly rusted after 2 consecutive Charger defeats. Number 80, Kellen Winslow, was Fouts' main target. He grabbed 9 passes for 153 yards and 1 touchdown. The Bengals' attempts to duplicate Fouts' efforts were thwarted by the Chargers' secondary. Number 44, Pete Shaw's 3 interceptions increased Fouts' chances to seek out John Jefferson, number 83. J.J. caught 2 of Fout's 3 touchdown strikes in San Diego's 34-14 win. It was another Sunday when the quarterback reigned as king, and bewildered opponents were left with a royal pain. New England autumns are always beautiful, and Patriot fans are relishing this one. The New England Patriots have been known in the past for their fast starts and subsequent collapses. This year's team, however, was 6-2 entering last week's game with the Jets, and were tied with Buffalo for the lead in the AFC East. Roland James, number 38, typified the Patriots' penchant for the big play with his 75-yard punt return. The battle-weary Jets were never able to recover from this bombshell. But the most explosive force in the Patriots' arsenal was the quarterback, who is having his finest season after 6 years, Steve Grogan. Grogan threw 2 touchdown passes, one to All-Pro tight end Russ Francis, number 81. The other went to Stanley Morgan as the Patriots cruised to a 34-21 victory over the Jets. In order for the Patriots to avoid the letdowns that have plagued them in past seasons, they are going to have to lift their standard of consistency even higher. This especially applies this week for the Patriots' travel to Houston to meet the Oilers. For every Oiler opponent, stopping Earl Campbell appears to be the key to victory. But something else they must contend with is Kenny Stabler, who has completed over 65% of his passes this season. This 41-yarder to Mike Barber against Denver was one of Stabler's longest tosses of the year. Although known for its potent offense, Houston ranks second defensively in the AFC. The Broncos discovered that the reason for the Oilers' defensive excellence is teamwork. Here, number 52, linebacker Robert Brazile takes out 2 Denver blockers. This enables another linebacker, Darryl Hunt, number 50, to stop the play before it develops. Houston's offense thrives on teamwork also. While Tim Wilson, number 45, fakes a sweep to the right, Earl Campbell is cleared for a burst up the middle. Carl Mock, number 55, removes the last obstacle, enabling Campbell to score untouched. The final tally was 20-16 in favor of the Oilers. Houston would have had 6 more points on this Houdini impression of a punt return by one of the league's smallest players, Carl Roaches. But unbelievably, an official had blown his whistle by mistake, canceling number 85's exceptional effort. Fortunately, the Oilers didn't need this score. But this week, they may need all the points they can get against the Patriots. Tampa Bay was known for mistakes of their own before their rags-to-riches turnaround last season. This year, however, the Bucs have been more raggedy than rich. Injuries to the defense have hindered Tampa Bay's ability to pressure the opposing quarterback. Last Sunday, the New York Giants' Phil Simms had time not only to spot his receiver, but also to locate the receiver's wife and kids. Nothing helps a sagging defense like a losing team with an inexperienced quarterback, and the New York Giants and Phil Simms are guilty on both counts. Against the Giants, the Bucs defense produced good field position for their offense. And number 42, Ricky Bell, let Tampa's defenders get some rest as he rushed for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, his first scores of the season. Hill has received much of the criticism for the Buccaneers' lackluster offense this year, along with quarterback Doug Williams. Against the Giants, number 12 hit newcomer Mike Schumann for a 25-yard touchdown. More important, he completed over 50% of his passes with no interceptions. The Bucs are now in second place in the NFC Central Division. A rejuvenated Ricky Bell and Doug Williams could lead a second-half surge to a playoff spot. Everyone puts on a game face, and no one shirks their calisthenics on Sundays in Oakland. Painstaking preparation is reflected by the Raiders' winning record and is the hallmark of a defense that smothered the Miami Dolphins, owners of the poorest offense in the AFC. Oakland held the Dolphins to 166 yards of total offense and picked off 3 Miami passes in the process. Although this 95-yard interception return was denied by a penalty, number 37 Lester Hayes is a prime factor in the resurgence of the Raider defense and is considered by many the equal to the Steelers' Mel Blount in man-for-man coverage. While the Oakland defense was closing the book on Miami's offense, a new chapter was added to the storybook year of Jim Plunkett, a player that was written out of the Raiders script before the year even began. The rap against number 16 was that he was too immobile, a clay pigeon in the pocket. But facing the charge of Vern Denherter, number 83, Plunkett's one quick move opened up the end zone for Raymond Chester, number 88. Against Miami, Plunkett won his 4th game in as many starts, throwing 2 touchdown passes. His second to Bob Chandler, number 85, provided the margin of victory as Oakland prevailed 16-10. While an old hero kept the Raiders in a first-place tie in the AFC West, a brand new one solidified the Lions' place atop the NFC Central. Facing the San Francisco 49ers, Billy Sims was limited to only 37 yards rushing. But versatile, like all great runners, Sims found a different way to beat his opponent. However, San Francisco returner James Owens, number 89, proved that Sims wasn't the only player in the Silver Dome that could fly. Owens' 101-yard kickoff return was the longest of the NFL season, but he pulled up lame in the stretch, as did the 49ers, who managed only 2 field goals throughout the rest of the game. Detroit quarterback Gary Danielson passed easily against San Francisco, which houses the worst pass defense in the NFC, and completed 23 of 32 passes for 263 yards. Danielson confused the 49er defense by sending the flow on this play falsely to the left. This opened the right side for an easy bootleg touchdown. The touchdown boosted Detroit to a 17-13 win and a tighter grasp on first place in the NFC Central Division. While the bootleg was successful for the Lions, a team that has been winning, the Redskins experienced the opposite result against the Minnesota Vikings. With everyone going right, number 75 Randy Holloway stayed home and dragged Joe Theismann down in the end zone. The safety helped Minnesota build a 23-0 lead and never gave Washington a chance to get into the ballgame. Following the safety, Keith Nord, number 49, returned the free kick 70 yards to the Washington end zone. Minnesota scored 39 points in the game, one less than the total of their 5 previous games. A sore spot for the Vikings all season has been their offensive line. But center Dennis Swilley, number 67, picked up a safety blitz, which allowed reserve quarterback Steve Dills to throw this touchdown pass to tight end Joe Sensor. The 39-14 victory gave new life to Minnesota's playoff hopes. Young ladies are quite serious about their football in Buffalo, and no one draws more attention from them than rookie running back Joe Cribbs. Cribbs got the Bills off to a swift start against the Falcons with his 10th rushing touchdown of the year, tops in the NFL. While Cribbs supplied points on the ground, quarterback Joe Ferguson supplied Frank Lewis with 6 more through the air. The Bills' 14-point lead was short-lived. The Falcons blocked a Buffalo field goal, and Atlanta quarterback Steve Bartkowski seized the first half's final moments, looking to William Andrews, number 31. Following a last-second win the week before, Bartkowski urged another comeback, sharing passes with Alfred Jenkins, number 84, and first-year tight end Junior Miller. Miller's score was the Falcons' second in 19 seconds and generated all the momentum Atlanta needed to remain in first place in the NFC West. The return of Terry Bradshaw to the Pittsburgh lineup spelled a turnaround for the Steelers' losing streak. Yet there remained a rough edge on this disjointed Steeler team, evident in a distinct lack of timing. The suddenly opportunistic Green Bay Packers hardly resembled the Packers of a month ago. Indeed, they are not, particularly with the recent addition of a rookie fullback from Missouri, Jerry Ellis, number 31. Ellis's 69-yard touchdown reception was one of 2 he received from Lynn Dickey to put the Pack ahead by 5 in the fourth quarter. But the brilliance of the rookie Ellis was negated by Packer mistakes. A safety on a misguided snap from center became the difference in a 2-point Packer loss, as the Pittsburgh tandem of Bradshaw and Lynn Swann were reunited to end the Steeler 3-game losing streak 22-20. On this day of rookie running backs, another glittered in Baltimore. But before Curtis Dickey made his move, the Colts introduced themselves to Kansas City's Steve Fuller. 11 times the Baltimore defense buried Fuller, as many sacks were the result of extraordinary second efforts like that of number 63, Mike Barnes. Both quarterback Burt Jones went untouched with plenty of elbow room to reach tight end Reese McCall. Then it was Curtis Dickey, the NCAA 60-meter sprint champ a year ago at Texas A&M. Dickey won this 51-yard dash and scored his second touchdown of the day. The 31-24 win raised the Colts to 5-4 and ended the Chiefs' modest winning streak at 4 games. The Seattle Seahawks have yet to win a game in their home in 1980. In an attempt to reverse this trend, Seattle employed effective surprise tactics against the Philadelphia Eagles. No surprise was the association of Jim Zorn and Steve Largent, whose touchdown earned the Seahawks a first-half lead. The Zorn-Largent alliance was countered by the Eagles' Ron Jaworski and Charles Smith, teaming for over 100 yards and bringing the Seahawks to their knees, as Philadelphia retained the best record, 8-1, in the NFL.